Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, the FAA finds Santa Monica in violation. Boeing 737 MAX 10 makes its debut, and amateur-built aircraft accidents remain below FAA decade-long challenge goal. Welcome, I'm your host, Sophie Herlock. On November 8th, the FAA found the city of Santa Monica guilty and not in compliance with Grant Assurance 25. The FAA stated it failed to meet requirements under the FAA's revenue use policy. There was a litany of financial irregularities and practices, some seemingly designed to create obstacles for those wishing to use the airport as an airport, while offering special treatment to those who didn't. The ruling comes after a Part 16 complaint was made in 2016 by a number of airport tenants, operators, the NBAA, and others, resulting in an FAA investigation that found the city mishandling airport funds, as well as its responsibility to operate lawfully in accordance with FAA Airport Grant agreements. The city has been fined and corrective actions have been mandated. It remains to be seen if the city will comply with the FAA's orders. We'll be right back with Around the Patch.
Today is a new dawn.
With a new name.
Un nuevo logotipo.
A new factory.
Und einem globalen Kundenfokus.
We are Continental Aerospace Technologies, and we stand behind you.
Welcome back. Let's take a quick look at some interesting news coming out of the aviation industry. It's time for today's trip around the patch. Aviation writer and marketer Patricia Luebke passed away last Friday after a brief illness. With a career spanning over 5 decades, Luebke was well known in the WAI, AEA, and general aviation circles. She'll be greatly missed by the entire aviation community, and we here at Aero-News extend our condolences to her family and friends. CAE-Jazz-Seneca and Seneca teamed up to develop Jazz Approach, an innovative Canadian program to provide Jazz with a pipeline to top-quality first officers. Cadets will receive a letter of employment from Jazz upon selection into the program, allowing for a direct path to join the airline as first officers conditional upon successful completion of the program. The parties involved have signed a 5-year partnership agreement, and the first cohort is set to begin training in April 2020. Dubai Airshow 2019 was hailed a success by exhibitors, delegates, and sponsors alike as a lively week of trading came to a close. With more than 1,288 exhibitors in attendance, 161 aircraft on the event's static display, and a packed schedule of conferences and keynotes. The program was the show's busiest to date, with 84,043 trade attendees. Sales were also booming, with the order book on site reaching $54.5 billion by close of business. U.S. Representative Salud Carvajal, along with members of ALPA, the Coalition of Airline Pilots Association, International Brotherhood of Teamsters, cargo pilots, commercial pilots, and aviation experts have introduced the Safe Skies Act of 2019. This bipartisan bill would ensure cargo pilots are operating under rules that fight fatigue and keep our airspace free from danger. We'll be right back with the rest of the news.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Boeing marked a key milestone Friday as thousands of employees gathered for the debut of the first 737 MAX 10 at the company's Renton, Washington factory. During the ceremony, Boeing leaders highlighted the team's accomplishments and recognized their efforts in completing production of the newest member of the 737 MAX family. This team's relentless focus on safety and quality shows the commitment we have to our airline customers and every person who flies on a Boeing airplane, said Mark Jenks, Vice President and General Manager of the 737 program. The 737 MAX 10, the largest variant of the MAX family, can seat up to 230 passengers and offers the lowest seat mile cost of any single-aisle airplane ever produced. The airplane will now undergo system checks and engine runs prior to first flight next year, when the rest of the MAX family will hopefully be back on legal flying status. While fatal accident totals in amateur-built aircraft remain at historic lows, a slight increase in the total for the last 12-month reporting period shows a continuing necessity for dedicated educational efforts to push the total even lower, according to the EAA. The FAA reports for the 12-month period from October 1st, 2018 to September 30th, 2019, fatal accident totals for the experimental category overall, including amateur-built aircraft, racing aircraft, those used for exhibit only, research and development, and some types of light sport aircraft, rose to 52, 5 above the FAA's not-to-exceed goal of 47 for the period. Of that total, 39 fatal accidents were in amateur-built aircraft, an increase of 4 from the previous reporting period. The EAA has worked closely with the FAA and the NTSB on recommendations to reduce fatal accidents, including through participation in the FAA General Aviation Joint Steering Committee that EAA has co-chaired for the past 3 years. And that was our last story of the day. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe and check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. To get the latest aviation aerospace news any time of the day, just head over to aero-news.net. I hope you and your loved ones have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and I'll see you on Monday.